Hello there everybody, Sam Strains here, welcome back to the railway and welcome back to another express running session. Now as you probably know, these express running sessions are supposed to be just about running the locomotives. Without all of the other nonsense, it's just about running trains. So I'm going to cut to the chase pretty much straight away today and get some stuff running for you. So as you know, I absolutely love modern locomotives. I love their detail and I love their accuracy and all of that good stuff. I love their performance. But I've also got a massive soft spot for vintage locomotives. I just love them. I love their reliability and I also love the challenge of keeping them maintained. So I thought it would be quite interesting to try and run some of the very oldest locomotives in my collection, or at least the locomotives that have the largest history, the locos that date back the furthest. So I'm going to get onto that straight away. Here we go with the first locomotive, I believe from the 1930s. Alright, here we go. Okay, so first up then we have this very old-fashioned looking Ren N2. Now this is a bit of a strange one because obviously Wren were not producing model locomotives in the 1930s, and in fact in reality this model was probably produced 20 or 30 years later than that. However, the model itself, I believe, dates back to 1938 with the first few Hornby Blow locomotives. Now that is assuming that this N2 used that same body tooling. I think it did, so if that's true then that actual bodywork on there that you're seeing there, the actual mould for that is going to be 80 years old this year, which is quite incredible. So the model itself isn't 80 years old, but the model certainly dates back to there, and I believe, as I say, it was one of the first Hornby Blow models ever produced. So let's get this going then. As you can see, she's got just a small passenger service today with the two LNER coaches. Let's get that going then, the Wren, or we're going to pretend it's Hornby Blow today, the N2. And it's the exact same situation with the second logo of the day. This is of course an A4, it's the Wren A4, probably released, you know, in the 60s or 70s, something like that. But once again, the actual bodywork, the tooling for the bodywork dates back to 1938. This, I believe, was released at the same time as the Hornby Blow N2 in 1938. So once again, if it's true that this is the original body tooling for the Hornby Blow version, then again, this is 80 years old. And quite notably, these would have been clockwork originally too, so I think the original bodywork had a hole in the side so that you could put the key in and wind it up. However, on this version, obviously it's electric, so that hole has been covered over, or whatever. So here we go then with the Golden Eagle. This is Wren, so again, not quite 80 years old, but the bodywork itself does have quite a lot of history behind it. Anyway, she's got a lovely train of Pullman coaches, just 5 of those there, which is of course a very light load for these, because of course the bodywork on these is completely made of die-cast metal. It's really heavy. Okay, let me go over to the controller and get this started just as the N2 catches up. Go on then, Golden Eagle. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, let's look at another Wren Loco then. So here is another very old model and also quite lovely, don't you think? Isn't that just beautiful? Not very prototypical of course, because this is a standard class 4 and they would really only be seen in BR liveries during their service. So yes, quite interesting there. Again, this is another Wren model taken of course from the original Hornby Blow range. This was originally introduced though in, let's see here, 1954 by Meccano / Hornby Blow. That makes the bodywork at least 64 years old. Again, the loco itself was produced later than that, the body does actually date back to 1954, 64 years ago. Crikey, this loco can actually sing when I'm 64. Anyway, let's get this thing going. Oh, I better show you the rolling stock. She's got some of those insulated milk vans. I love those wagons, I think they're fantastic. Okay, let's get her started then, just as the others are coming by. All going in the same direction this time, no particular reason. Just thought it would be nice. Another very powerful loco. So let's have a running session with those 3. So there goes the N2, overtaken by Golden Eagle, who's doing quite a rate, isn't she? Crikey. Still running well to this day. It's also worth pointing out that the Wren mechanisms are a little bit different to what they would have been originally. Some of them more different than others, but still the same kind of thing, if not exactly the same. And of course the Hornby Blow / Ren 264 tank was one of the most popular and best-selling models ever, to be honest. They sold hundreds of them, probably because there were just so many different liveries made available for it over the years. Okay, so these have been the I suppose, reasonably predictable locos in this video, so let's get on to a couple of slightly more unusual ones, and I suppose there is at least one that everybody's expecting still to come, so let's get on with those. Let's do it. Alright, so this model here is one of the most important models ever produced, probably the most important. This model, it's the Princess of course, is responsible for establishing all of the norms of model railways today, and in fact the current Hornby range basically owes everything to this model and Rovex and the Lines Brothers and Triang. Everything that they do today comes from this particular model, and not, as many people believe, the Hornby Blow range, because really the only thing that lived on from that range was the name. So yeah, this loco started life in 1950, I believe, when Rovex produced it for Marks and Spencer's, a Christmas train set. In those days it was quite different to the model you can see here. The bodywork is pretty much exactly the same, but the original chassis was made of plastic, it had plastic wheels, and there were metal plungers that came down from it, which touched the track and picked up power. Now over the next 5 years or so, Rovex improved this, they gave it a metal chassis and allowed it to pick up through the wheels, and basically it morphed and changed and updated itself for many, many years, and it became, you know, the basis for all models we have from Hornby today. It used a magical, very futuristic material called plastic for the first time, which is of course completely different to Hornby Blow. And yes, for the first time, model trains became toys which were affordable, and you know, youngsters and enthusiasts and people who weren't just millionaires could afford to buy model trains. So let's get this one going then. This is a slightly later one, I believe, from the 1950s, later 1950s, possibly early 60s. Let's get her started, the Triang Rovex Princess. So by 1955, I think Rovex were then known as Triang, and they'd sorted out the Princess, that was working perfectly, they perfected the design, so it was time to build yet another locomotive for the range. And the next one was of course this, the Ginty, 1955. It's not the same as the Hornby Railroad Ginty that you see today, that is a much newer tooling. This is the original one, in BR black as you can see, and it was very much the same as the Princess in terms of the mechanism and the way it picked up power and the way it worked, and even the motor was exactly the same. So let's get her started. She's got a rake of bird's eye wagons, which I think look really, really cool with her. So let's get her started then. The 1955, this isn't necessarily the 1955 version, but it's the same design. Triang Ginty, here we go. Okay, so this last loco is quite an unusual choice because it's nowhere near as old as the others I've been showing you, but there is something special about this. So this is the Backman G72, and what's special about it is it's the first locomotive ever produced for the UK by Backman. Now it's a little bit more complicated than that because I think the actual locomotive itself, the bodywork and everything, used to belong to Mainline. I think Mainline owned this originally, but when Cada, otherwise known as Backman, purchased all of the moulds from Mainline, I believe this is the first one they ever produced, and that was done in 1976. So this model is, 42 years old. I believe the tooling's probably older than that, but this is the first one ever to be released under the name Backman, of course produced by Cada. Okay, let's get this started then. Split chassis of course, but yep, first ever Backman loco. I thought I had to run that since I was running the first Triang ones and all that, so let's have a quick running session then with these. Well, there you have the Princess, set all of the standards for model railways that we know today. And there we have the J72, really lovely, isn't she? To say she's from the 70s. Let's not forget the Ginty here, there she comes. Really nice quiet run of that one. Really quite an attractive thing, isn't it, the little J72. I'll have to review that at some point, I've still got her to do. Okay then folks, well that's your lot, just a quick session today, but I hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you all on Wednesday then for more railway action, but for now, thank you very much for watching. Enjoyed having your company as always, and I will see you very soon. Cheers everybody.